Hola mis queridos munchkins, ¿cómo están? Yo estoy muy bien. El día de hoy les tengo una noticia. Max y yo nos vamos para Oaxaca una vez más. Estamos muy emocionados. El fin de semana iremos a Tehuacán para visitar a mi familia y después vamos a ir a Puebla para pasar Navidad con mi hermana mayor que se llama Andrea. Y más o menos por el 26 de diciembre nos vamos a Oaxaquita, donde viviremos por más o menos un mes. Por ahora, esos son nuestros planes en el futuro. Y les cuento esto porque el día de hoy vamos a hablar sobre el futuro. So, this video is for all those munchkins who doesn't know how to talk in future. But it's also for all those munchkins who love to use phrases like tonight I'm having dinner with my friends, and they translate them directly from English to Spanish. Because let me tell you something, that's totally incorrect. But if you want to know what will be the equivalent when you use the ing form for the future in Spanish, watch this video till the end. So in this video, I'm going to teach you 3 ways you can use to talk in the future in Spanish. Así que vamos a empezar. As you can see, now I have a whiteboard again because I really like them and I feel it's a little bit easier to understand when I can write. So the first thing you need to learn about the future is the future that we can call futuro simple, okay? And this is actually pretty simple, and that's why it's futuro simple. And this is the equivalent of will in English, okay? It's pretty easy. So, you know that normally in Spanish, we always have different groups. So, the group that is going to be AR, ER, and IR, okay? Well, in this specific case for this tense, we are kind of forget about that. We just have 2 groups. The 2 groups we have are regular verbs and irregular verbs, okay? In here, I'm gonna have 2 examples with 2 verbs that we use a lot, okay? So we have the verb ser, to be, and we have the verb hacer, that is gonna be to do. So the endings for these verbs is gonna be e for me, yo, has, ha, hemos, and han. Okay, and I'm gonna show you the future for them. So it's pretty simple because when they are regular verbs, we just have to add these endings. Okay, so we have seré, serás, será, seremos, y serán. Okay, this is really easy peasy. Okay. In the other side, when we talk about irregular verbs, what is gonna happen is this. So we also are gonna have these endings. The only thing is we're gonna have a little variation there, okay? So in here, instead of saying haceré, the future is gonna be haré. Harás, hará, haremos y harán. Okay, so as you can see, the endings are the same. That doesn't change. So what is going to change is going to be in the root. You can see, okay, this part. Okay, and that's how we create a future. Now we're going to have some examples. Our examples are going to be with the verb decir, hablar, and bañarse. This one is a reflexive verb. Okay, so we're gonna make an example with each. We are gonna use the pronoun ella for decir, okay? And this one is an irregular verb, so it will be dirá. Okay, so, and our example is Marta le dirá a su novio que quiere ir a la playa por su cumpleaños. ¿Ok? Dirá es in future tense. Marta will tell her boyfriend that she wants to go to the beach for her birthday. ¿Ok? Siguiente. Hablar. And in this, we're going to say we. So, nosotros. This one is regular, so it will be hablaremos. Okay? Mi novio y yo hablaremos por teléfono el jueves. Okay, hablaremos, it's our future. So, my boyfriend and I will talk through the phone on Thursday. Okay? And finally, the last one is gonna be bañarse, okay? This one we're gonna do it with you, tú. It's regular, but it's reflexive. So we don't have to forget that. And I'm gonna show you why. Bañar, so tú te bañarás. Okay? And you're gonna ask me like, why? Why do we have a thing here and we don't have like anything there? Well, it's because it's reflexive. So remember that when like the verb in infinitive ends with se, that means that it's reflexive. So we have to add the reflexive form, okay? So our example is gonna be te bañarás con agua fría porque no hay gas. Okay? So, what we're saying is like, you will have a shower with cold water because there is no gas. And this means like, there's no hot water. So we don't have gas, so we cannot hit the water. So the result is you are going to take a shower with cold water. Okay? So you can see, don't forget the reflexive verbs. The reflexive verbs, we always have to add the reflexive pronoun. Okay? So, if it will be me, it will be me bañaré, tú te bañarás, él se bañará, nosotros nos bañaremos y ustedes y ellos se bañarán. Okay, so let's go with the next explanation. Muy bien, my dear munchkins. Next part is gonna be when we use a periphrasis verbal. Okay, if you don't know what's a periphrasis verbal, you can look for the video in which I talk about the tenses you need to learn depending on your level. Okay, so the periphrasis verbal we are gonna use is gonna be the verb ir en presente. Okay. Presente más preposition a más the verb en infinitivo. Okay? And this is the famous going to in English. Okay? So this is actually really easy to learn because has like you can relate this with the English version that is like the going to, so it's actually pretty easy. So the verbs we're gonna talk, we use decir before we use hablar and bañarse, ¿cierto? Muy bien, so we're gonna use the same ones, so it's a little bit easier to understand. So this is gonna be in present, we say, okay? So we're gonna do an example with this one, with the form, with the pronoun I, yo. Yo voy a decirle a mi hermana la verdad. Okay, so in here, voy a decirle. And you probably are gonna ask me why we have to use decirle instead of just decir. Well, there are some verbs that we have to use the indirect pronoun, okay? This is one of those verbs, decir. We also have platicar, it's another verb, okay? So this is, for example, if I just want to say, voy a decir la verdad, I'm going to tell the truth, we don't have to use the le, okay? But if I'm going to say who I'm going to tell, then I have to add it, okay? So, yo voy a decirle a mi hermana la verdad. Okay, if I say yo voy a decir a mi hermana la verdad, sounds super weird. We have to add this le. And we just have to learn those verbs, okay? If I want to say that I'm going to tell you the truth, I will say voy a decirte la verdad. I'm not going to have to say a mi hermana la verdad, okay? So yeah, and in here we have the going to. Voy and present a decirle. And this verb, because this specific one has to have a plus indirect object pronoun, that's why I'm saying decirle. Okay? Perfect. Siguiente. This one. Oh, and look at this, okay? This is not future anymore. Infinitivo. Siguiente. Hablar. Ustedes. Okay? Van a hablar con mis papás. Ustedes, remember that we dropped the pronoun, so that's why I'm not adding the pronoun in the second example. But it will be, ustedes van a hablar con mis papás. So this van a hablar, it will refer to the going to with my parents. See? Perfecto. And last part, that is gonna be bañarse, a reflexive verb, it's gonna be. We're gonna make it with you, tú. Te vas a bañar. Okay, we're gonna turn it into a question. So, ¿ya te vas a bañar? Okay. We can do it this way, or we can also do it this way. ¿Ya vas a bañarte? Okay. Are you already going to take a shower? What's the difference? There is no difference. You can put the reflexive pronoun before or after. No problem. If you have a question about reflexive verbs, I already make a video about that. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. You can click and go to that video. It's a long video, but it's really useful because I talk about the reflexive verbs in all the different tenses, okay? So this will be the example, okay? Remember, in this one, the only part that is going to be conjugated and has to go in present is going to be this, okay? The verb ir. And then the rest is going to be infinitivo. But if the verb needs an indirect object pronoun, you have to put it. And if the verb is a reflexive verb, you have to add the reflexive pronoun. Okay, and now let's go with the last explanation. And the last part is when we talk about why the ing, we don't use it at all. Okay, no. Forget the ing. Ing for us in the future, it's not acceptable at all. So, we don't use the ing, but what we do to talk about the future is the present. And probably your question is like, how can you use that and don't get confused about like if it's future or present? Well, we are gonna add time. It can be, for example, you add a day or the month or the year when you want to do it, the time, the season, it doesn't really matter, but you have to show that it's not happening now. Okay? So in this, I'm not gonna use the other two examples. I'm gonna use some examples that you might, it doesn't mean that you guys all use the ing. Sometimes I make videos and I say like, well, in here normally people say in there, and I have some comments like, no, we don't talk like that. Well, it might, maybe, I don't know. But I'm saying this because I have a lot of students who have this specific problem, okay? So one example will be, I'm going to France in June, okay? So maybe someone will say, oh, I'm going is yo estoy yendo, because that's actually like, I'm going. Okay, I'm going, it will be like estoy yendo. So probably someone will be like, oh yeah, I'm going to France in June. It will be estoy yendo a Francia en junio. No. No, we don't say that. The way we say it is en junio voy o me voy a Francia. Okay? No ing. No. Can you use the other two for this? Of course, yeah, you can do it. So you can say, en junio me voy a ir a Francia, o voy a ir a Francia, that it will be going to, or you can also say, en junio iré a Francia. Yes, you can say that, but it's totally true that we tend to use the present a lot to talk about the future. Our second example. I'm leaving at 6. Okay? So, I'm leaving at 6. You're gonna say, oh yeah, I'm leaving. Is me estoy yendo. So you can tell me, oh, me estoy yendo a las 6. No, guys. No. So what we are gonna say is me voy a las 6. Can I use the other options? Of course. Me voy a ir a las 6. ¿Ok? O voy a irme a las 6 o me iré a las 6. Pero me estoy yendo a las 6. No. Okay? And our third example, this one is a long one. Okay? Tomorrow, I'm going to the park with Max at 6 so he can meet up with his little friend, Lisa. Okay? Let's write that. If you are at home, try to do it. Try to like write that. I'm going to say it again, so let's see if you can get that. Tomorrow, I'm going to the park with Max at 6 so he can meet up with his little friend Lisa. Okay? Okay, I'm gonna write it in Spanish. So, tomorrow I'm going. Mañana estoy yendo. No. Mañana voy al parque con Max a las 6 para que vea a su amiguita Lisa. Okay? Remember guys, we never use ing to talk about the future. Okay? No way. In Spanish we don't do that. You can do normal future, you can do the going to that we use way more, and we can do present, but no ing. Okay, well guys, I hope this was a really helpful class for you, a lesson. I will see you in the next video. Remember, next video is going to be full in Spanish and it's a conversation to practice the future, of course. Okay, I will see you in the next class. Thank you for watching these videos. Let me know what you think about this. If you have questions, leave me in the comments. And tell me if you already knew that we can use the present to talk about the future.